What's up, players? Welcome to How Do We Human. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
Today we're talking about playing and being playful. Oh, it's going to be so joyous, this conversation coming from two tired guys.
The most playful.
But first, before we get into playtime, I gotta know, Evan, how you doing?
Hey, you know me. I'm doing good. I checked my notes again to see if I'm good.
To
or
see
not.
if you're doing good.
Yeah. Doing good. I was just telling you, I went to Vegas last weekend with my sisters, and it was like such a fun trip. And I was full of stories. I had so many good How Do We Human stories. But then I went to a concert last night and forgot all of those stories. So I have new stories. So there's just a treasure trove of How Do We Human stories from Vegas that are going to stay in Vegas.
Oh.
I guess, unless I remember them, then I'll tell them next week. But I went to a concert by myself again. I went to see one of my favorite bands, Manchester Orchestra, co-headlining with Jimmy Eat World. It just takes some time, little Chris, you're in the middle. Who's from Arizona, I found out.
Yep.
Your people.
That's right.
It's your people. They were both great. Good show. But I went by myself, which I've always said I'm good with, you know. I'm good going by myself. But again, same kind of thing that happened last time. And I knew that was coming. I was like, I like when the band starts playing. I like being there by myself. Any in between time, it's just kind of a bummer. I'm just sitting there drinking a beer by myself, you know?
Yeah.
So I had kind of put it into my head, like, because last time I think I told that story. There were the people behind me talking, and I could have jumped in and like, I made friends, and I didn't do that. And I was like, why not? You know, like retroactively thinking, like, the worst that could happen is they would have just like kind of brushed me off. But we also could have just talked the whole time, and then I would have had people to talk to, and it would have been nice. So I sit down. It was a hot ass day yesterday. Whenever I go to the Greek Theater, I end up parking down in just the Los Feliz area and walking up the hill. I can like get a little exercise. And so I've got a new hat one of those I've always wanted. Jocelyn bought me a hat when we were in Solvang. It's got like kind of wide brim and mesh. The top of it's solid, but the rest of the top is mesh, so I can feel the wind going over my head, but I'm still blocked from the sun. I can't beat it. I'm not going to wear it every day of my life, but it was a great Vegas hat, and it was a great concert hat. So I walk up there, trying not to get my little head burnt. I see the Manchester Orchestra merch thing has poster that is designed by a local artist. I think, oh, that's a really cool design. I want that. So I bought the poster. So now I've got that rolled up, and I bought a beer, and I had brought a water bottle in with me. So I've got too many accessories now.
Yeah.
My arms are full. I get to my seat. My seat's awesome. And I'm going, no one's near me. That's nice, right? Because that's even, I'm good with that. If it was just like no one else showed up in the row, great. I'm fine being by myself the whole time. I'm not going to feel self-conscious about like being on my phone in between. Oh, I don't want anyone looking over my shoulder. A couple shows up, sits right next to me, and the guy is so fucking friendly. And as he's saying, they had to get past me to go to the other side of me. And he's going like, hey, friend, you're my friend for the next, until Jimmy Eat World is done. And as soon as he like says nice things, I dropped all of my stuff. It just went everywhere. My water bottle went under the people's seat. My beer was already there, so I didn't spill my beer, but I dropped my hat. I dropped my phone. I dropped the poster because I had tried to pick it all up to let them walk past. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, God, I'm a mess. No
That
one should
sounds
be
like a
friends
meet
with me.
cute.
It was. It ended up being fine. He was a very friendly guy. But because of that, the main reason I'm saying all that is because I dropped all my shit. I didn't even like respond to him. He was just like, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna be my friend for the next thing," and I was just like, "Oh, fuck, shit, go pick the stuff up," and then I just kind of sat there quiet for a while because I suck. And fortunately, he was friendly enough to continue talking to me,
It's
so
like, we're gonna see
it
if
all
there
ended
are
up being
other
fine.
open seats.
Yeah, that's maybe get out of here. No, he was a super friendly guy. Never learned his name. The best kind of constant
Nice.
friend. We're it's fun. You just make a mystery friend, and you'll never see them again. So I did it. I succeeded, even though I failed so fucking hard at first. I'm bad at making friends. But one friend I've got. I don't have to make any more. I'm not doing shit to impress him.
All full. All filled up.
That is Chris Benning. And I gotta
Yes.
ask how he's doing. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. This is about 2 weeks ago. In fact, Evan, I believe as of when we were recording this, 2 weeks to the day. My fiance and I went to go get our engagement pictures taken. And as I've mentioned with some things already, a lot of wedding vendors seem to be questionably reliable.
Dropping
But
the ball left and
anyway,
right.
so this guy's like, "Oh, we can go anywhere in LA County." And so we suggested a beach that is in LA County technically,
Ooh,
but
technicality.
far, admittedly. Kind of in the like Malibu area.
That's where
And
the
so
nice beaches
still technically within the range that he had given us. And he said, "No, like as per our agreement, like this, it's got to be somewhere else," and then gave us two beaches as examples. He was like, we could go to like Newport Beach or
Go to
Laguna Beach,
Venice.
places that
Taking
are
pictures with the bodybuilders.
further. But anyway, we decided to go to Newport Beach.
All right.
We head down there. On like Google, it says that the Newport Beach, like the state park beach area, is gonna close at like 5 p.m. and we were supposed to meet him at 6 p.m.
Uh-oh.
But we were like, well, let's like he must know because I guess he was like, yeah, I had been there, I had gone there like last week to do a photo shoot too, so I know the area. So we show up. There's a car in like there's a little like not a guard station, but like somebody that kind of guides you when you pull in because there are 4 different lots to park at this beach. So there's a car in front of us, and then there's like a little sandwich board posted up outside that's like, pay using the Yodel app. Scan the QR code to download it. And so I was, like my elderly self, like I hate QR codes. I think they're so dumb. But I download it. The car in front of us, pulls forward. So we pull up to the station, and he had been there so long that I was like, we must have to talk to this guy and be like, this is what we're doing or where we're going. And so the attendant is standing out there. I pull up, my window's down, and he just kind of crouches next to the car and then doesn't say anything. And
great.
So I was like, so do we just have to pay on the app? And he was like, if you want. And I was like, all right. And so I just start going, and he goes, good luck. Like, does that mean the lot is full and there's no parking? Or like, what does that mean?
What are you?
We get to the lot and it's like 3 cars are in the lot. It's almost completely empty.
What the hell?
I've got the app downloaded from the QR code and I try to use it to pay, and
Yeah.
it like just is like a non-functioning app that like just doesn't work. And so I guess that's probably what he meant by good luck.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's just disgruntled because the app's bullshit.
Yeah. But worked out for me because then I just straight up didn't pay.
That is so funny that that reminded me of one of my Vegas stories, which now I'm like, do I just tell it? Maybe I'll tell it next week because it was I won't tell it next week. I don't want to repeat your story. Essentially,
Yeah.
QR codes are fucking up parking. I don't know why all these parking
Yes.
places are thinking this is going to go faster because it was the
No, it's
same.
not.
I'll just blow that story really quick. I knew that ahead of time, but the parking at the places we were staying, I needed to scan a QR code. I had thought my sister could do it when she checked in. I was wrong and didn't bring the right type of cable. I brought a cable to charge my phone in a wall charger, but not in the car. My phone
Mm.
died as I was pulling in. And then I realized, like, oh, I need to scan a QR code. So I had to go up and be like, I can't. What can I do now? And they just handed me a piece of paper and they're like, scan this when you get to the room. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. And I waited. I scanned it late the next day. So I paid for 1 day of parking.
Nice.
We're a couple of little shits.
That's right. We're just playing.
We're playing. We're playful when it comes to parking.
Couple of playful Parkers. The Parker brothers. Perhaps the most playful of Parkers.
When it comes to parking, we're playing lots.
Yeah, okay.
It's something.
Yeah, it is something. It's like almost there.
I find myself back, and maybe that's just a thing that happens with people our age. You find yourself, after spending a lot of time trying to build up a persona that's an adult, that's professional, that gets the job done, that's a reliable spouse. Then you find yourself surrounded by children. I don't have kids of my own, but I got 2 nieces and a nephew. My cousins all have kids. I'll see them. My friends all have kids. And I suddenly find this adult ass businessman I've turned myself into then also has to pretend to be a dinosaur and like keep my pride about myself. I find myself having to play again. And it's
Yeah.
interesting how sad it makes me that I can't do it like I used to. And that, not
Yeah.
to like jump ahead, was kind of the whole crux of doing improv. Like they tell you, you'll get out of your head. You're playing. It's playing with friends. It's great. And I did it for 3 years. I never got there to where I felt like I was just playing. I don't know. Are you good at letting go and just playing?
I don't know. It's a good question because I
Mm,
mean, certainly when I was a kid, I was very like active imagination, plenty of
same,
toys
yeah.
to play with, friends to play with, all that stuff. And then, similarly getting older, it's not necessarily that my imagination is less active as much as it's like the walls are still up because
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be having fun anymore.
No.
You're an adult. You're supposed to
Yeah.
be miserable and let your bosses do stupid bullshit that ruins your whole day. um, you're
Yeah,
not
and you're gonna
supposed to
like it.
laugh and have fun and escape to different worlds.
Certainly not.
And since you mentioned improv, I think that a big part of why it's hard to get back into that mentality of like, oh, you're just playing around with friends, is because when you did play around with friends,
Mhm.
you didn't have like an audience or like
That's true.
or a coach to be like, you're playing
Yeah,
the wrong way.
you're doing it wrong. You're
That
not.
thing you just did totally ruins the story you were building.
That's a great point.
Because of you, now no one else can have
Can have
fun.
fun.
Um,
I had not to. I swear this whole episode's not going to be about improv, but I did my last improv class I ever took. Like you were with me along a lot of that journey and saw
yeah.
my you know the point I had gotten to around the end of it, where I'm like, I'm not having fun on stage and it reads and nobody likes
Yeah.
it. So my last ditch effort to be like, let's see, maybe this will click and unlock that fun. There was a class, a UCB class with a wonderful teacher, Julie Brister, maybe the best teacher I ever had. And the whole class was this stupid form that's admittedly stupid, because the whole idea is the class is to break that open and just play. You're going to be stupid. You're going to play a stupid character. You're going to be big. You're going to be big and do dumb things and embarrass yourself, and it's fine. That was the whole idea of the class. I'm like, all right, this is going to suck, but this is what
Yeah.
I need. If I'm ever going to do this again, if I want to take one more shot at being Mr. Playful, this will be it. And for the most part, that class was great. But there was a point, and it's like I do still feel like I never quite broke out. There's a I don't want to get too in the weeds with the form, but it's like you're one of, I think, 8 characters, and you get assigned a character after doing it for weeks and weeks. And the character I got assigned was basically just what I already do happily, which is you sit out of the entire scene, and then at the end you kill everybody and end the scene. I was the editor, which is also partially your old gig,
Yeah.
ending a scene with a laugh. So I
Yeah.
got to play Chris for a little while, but it wasn't really a growth thing for me.
Sure.
It was, I got to come out and judge everybody. But so throughout the whole course, you had to play every other character. So you got a chance to be Mr. Silly Character. You got a chance to be this, blah, 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 whatever their names were. And one of the times I had to be the person that sets the scene. It's like, before anyone's improvising, I'm going to come out. I'm going to say where we are, I'm just going to lay out the physicality of the place. And I
Okay.
had set up like a bedroom, like a messy teenager's bedroom, and there was a bathroom attached to it. And I said, everyone's like going with me. And again, this is supposed to be like, oh, everyone's just having fun. There's no bad ideas. And I said that the mirror of the bathroom, it is gross. The mirror of the bathroom was covered in residue from formerly popped zits, because it's a teenager's bedroom.
Sure. Okay.
The class was revolted. Like, people wanted to leave, it felt like, and or vomit. And the Julie made a great point and said, like, all right, in the previous scene, like, there was like blood everywhere. It was the most violent fucking thing you've ever gotten, and no one blinked an eye. Why is everyone disgusted by zits? And I was like, yeah, thank you, Julie. But like, that was just another one of the another brick in the wall. Just another little like, oh, I can't just be me. The way I think
Right.
is unpleasant. And I need to stop thinking the way that I think. I thought I came up with something relatable. But maybe not. Everyone who had perfect skin is teenagers. This is also a part of the problem when it comes to playing. I'm just very defensive, and I can't not take it personally.
Yeah. I an improv scene that I remember. And again, this whole episode won't be
No,
about
certainly
improv, but
not.
this was an improv 101. This was a scene with
Okay, we were in this
myself and
class.
former guest Derek,
Yes.
and you're taught, something unusual should happen
Right.
in the first line in the initiation of the scene. Your scene partner should be able to latch on to something unusual and then be
Yes.
able to play on that unusual thing, and then you'll both get laughs.
Which another, just general, real quick, another major gripe of mine is like you're taught that, and then like as you get better, you're taught like, no, 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 it should. Don't do the funny
Yeah.
thing right up top. You want to just have a casual conversation and be normal
Yes.
and let something weird happen. And nothing funny ever happened again.
Exactly.
But go on.
But so I'm in that mindset. I'm
You're
like,
ready.
whatever, because of course I'm not the one who initiates the scene.
Yeah.
But so Derek goes out there. He's got the two chairs. We sit next to each other.
Classic.
Guests of or listeners rather of the podcast that have heard that episode with Derek some 200 episodes
Yeah.
ago may remember that he does not have a lisp.
Oh, yes.
He does initiate this scene, and I don't remember what he says, but there's nothing unusual in the sentence
Mm-hmm.
other than, he's talking like, oh, let's watch. Do you want to watch some wrestling or like whatever? It was about
Mm-hmm.
wrestling and watching it on TV. I don't remember the exact thing he said. And so the only thing that's unusual to me in what's been said is that Derek, who I know does not have a lisp, is now speaking with a lisp. And so I just assume that must be where we're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And our teacher, Pam Murphy, she gave a very diplomatic note of don't wait for it to be in the context of what's
Yeah.
being said. I was like, so the note is like, don't be an asshole. And she was like, yeah, basically. So it's that same
I
kind of
remember that.
of course in real life I wouldn't
No.
make fun of somebody with a lisp, but when I know that it's they're not, when they don't have one and then they speak with one in a comedy scene,
Yeah.
I'm like, this must be the comedy.
Yeah.
But that's because my brain is bad and I should not be allowed on stage.
Well, and then on the exact flip side of that, it's like, again, I get it. I get the way the UCB structure works. From you want to learn that in one, and then as you progress, you expand and go like, so that's not actually, we taught you that so you could get better at doing this.
Yeah.
But I was better at that. And so all the time later, I'm haven't taken classes in a little while. We are working with a coach and former guest Katie Elsesser. Now she just got married. What's her name now?
Hampton.
Katie Hampton. I'm a good friend. I follow these people on social media. But she's initiating a scene that she and I are on a date, and she's just kind of playing like not a good date partner, not in an extreme way, in a fairly subtle way. And I was just kind of playing back, waiting for something weird, because now we learn you don't want to do that immediately. We want to wait for something weird to happen. And then our coach stops the scene and is just like, yeah, she's being weird. Like, go ahead, just go at her, be mean to her, tell her she's being a bad date partner. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to. She's not being that weird.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's fine. I'd rather go on the scene, but everyone's just like, no, go on, be mean. Katie's like, be mean to me. I'm not having fun. I want to leave. This is bad. I don't
And then
know.
you're mean to her, and everybody's like,
Ooh,
"Whoa, that's
wow,
not the way
okay.
you should do that, buddy."
We don't use that word anymore. No, I genuinely, I don't think I ever did. I think my brain shut down, and we just ended the coaching session. I don't know. It was a bad time. We may or may not come back around and talk more about improv, because there is a lot to talk about. Unless
Yeah,
you were just about to leap it.
and actually, this is still going to be improv related, but it might segue us into something else. Because another thing, I know we've talked about maybe doing an episode about coaching,
Oh yeah,
but this is, we had a coach, we had several throughout our improv time, but there
yeah.
was one coach who was, a very funny improviser.
Mhm.
But sometimes it felt like, when especially you or me, it seemed most often, maybe you, me, and Tori would get singled out the most,
Yeah,
of like, hey, don't do it that way. Let me show you. And then
yeah,
goes in, does the scene, and is like, wasn't it so much funnier when I did
yeah.
it? And I'm like, I guess, but now I'm not having fun.
Yeah,
like
yeah, sure.
like even with like video games or something where somebody's like, let me play and you can watch me.
Yeah, it's the because then I'm gonna have the inability to get that out of my head in any scene of like, man, this would be funnier if someone else, if anyone else had walked into this scene on the back line.
Yeah.
They would have done the funny thing that I can't think of because I'm thinking. What's the funny thing to say? Bad news.
Do you
Stress.
ever, when you're playing with your niece or your nephew, are you ever like, hey, you did a bad move here in our little tea party scene or in our dinosaur scene?
Yes,
This is the wrong move. Let
that
me
was
show
the
you
wrong.
what you should have done.
That is a part of like playing with kids is I mean there's definitely a lot of improv involved,
Gotta
but
roll with the punches.
you gotta roll with the punches until there are actual punches.
Yep,
That's the problem.
there often are.
Kids want to hit. All kids want to hit. If kids have you see the like caveman logic immediately of just like big plastic thing. Ah! And I don't have it in me to shut that down. I need like someone else in the room to be like,
An adult in
no,
the
we
room.
don't hit. I need an adult in the room because I'm the fun uncle. I don't want to be shutting people down. I made
Yeah.
one of these kids cry once. It was terrible
What'd you
for me.
do?
I told them I needed a break because I was fucking tired. Because I'm old and playing for like an hour is hard. And I was
Yeah.
like, I need to just lay down for a minute. And the kid started crying. I've made a lot of kids cry over the years.
That's
It
hilarious.
doesn't feel good. It's my lot in life. I was my mom ran a daycare when I was growing up. So like when I was in high school, I'd always wake up and there'd be a bunch of kids in the house. And there was one day, for whatever reason, something happened and my mom had to like take one of the kids somewhere. And there was just one kid who hadn't gone home yet. And so I was like almost graduated. I'm like 17 or so. So she's like, can you watch the kid? I'm like, yes, I can watch the kid. This kid, as soon as my mom's gone, it's just me and the kid. That kid starts bawling because she can't find her like binky. And that was the rest. It was like an hour. The kid just cried the whole time. I never solved the problem. I never found the binky. Their mom just showed up at a certain point and like, oh, what's going on? I'm just like, she's been crying the whole fucking time. I can't fix it. I don't know what to do. Made me feel bad though. I don't like making
Yeah.
people cry.
No.
But I do it. I do it every day. It's part of the job of being a podcaster.
I don't know if this necessarily falls into like playing, quote unquote, or being playful, but there's in life there can sometimes be that line of are we all just playing around,
Mm-hmm.
or is this person bullying this other person?
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, maybe this was only yesterday at work. We've got our WhatsApp
Oh
group
yeah.
for everybody to post and give away their shifts, and increasingly, it's also being used for nonsense.
Right.
Which it's kind of split 50-50 among like our department of people who are like, yeah, we want to share memes and jokes and gifs,
Yeah.
and people who are like, business only, please.
Yeah.
And I'm in the business only half.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday somebody took a photo of one of the other
Uh-oh.
coworkers appearing to be sleeping on the job, and just to like, oh, somebody get so and so their coffee or whatever, not in like a I'm telling the boss that
Right.
you're
Yeah.
asleep or whatever. It was like a little quote unquote playful exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else not involved in taking the picture or having their picture taken um decides to get involved.
Oh.
And I'll read the exchange in here, because it's a harsh transition from like, oh, this is funny
Fucking
that this
around.
person did this. Yeah. um uh let's see. Oh, so somebody else was like, hilarious, laughing emoji, leave this person's name alone,
Yeah.
laughing emoji. And the person who took the picture was like, we love person I took the picture of. It was just too funny to not post.
Yeah.
Now this is where someone else completely separate gets involved to say, why do you like bullying and picking on people? And is it really necessary to be posting these types of things? Person who took the photo said, it's a joke. We play around with the people we like. Which is a little a little shot as well.
Yeah.
But that person doesn't let it go. They say, is it a we thing or is it more of a you thing? Because
Jeez.
I know that certain things aren't supposed to be played with, especially when we know things can be used as a double-edged sword. I don't know what that really means, but
That is cryptic.
yeah. Person who took the photo says, just stop. This will not end well for you. And then the last message is from that person again saying, it's all good. I'm not concerned about myself. I simply don't agree with people taking pictures and then blasting them on our semi-professional work group without prior consent of those individuals whom you say, quote, we poke fun at, all in good fun. It's plain rude and unprofessional.
Interesting.
And then the person who took the photo just posted a gif of like a baby. But
Wow.
it's, there is that line of like,
Yeah.
am I just playing around or am I causing harm? And in this
Yeah.
case, everybody directly involved thought it was funny. And it was somebody outside of it saying, I don't like you playing around.
Yeah. Sounds like.
Have you been involved in a situation like that where either somebody else completely separate to you comes up to you and your friends to be like, hey, stop that?
Ooh. I I mean, maybe. Hmm.
Or you pass,
I've
feral mall children who seem to be bullying each other, and you're like, "Hey, stop that." And they're
stop
like, "We're just
it.
joking around. We're
It's
friends. We're
fun.
buddies."
No, I've been when drinking once. There was a period just hanging out with my friends when I was like fucking around with one of my friends, and I was too drunk to know the difference, and everyone started going like, "Evan, chill." like,
Oh, yeah, I do
like he
remember
left
you
the room.
talking
It
about
was like,
this.
"Evan, you're being like really mean." I was like, "Oh fuck, am I? Oh no!" Like, what do you mean? What? Huh? What? I was having fun. Oh no, that's a bad feeling. But yeah, I can't remember anyone ever coming up and just having a problem with the fun we're
Yeah.
having. It sounds like you guys need 2 WhatsApp groups.
You know what? We do.
You do.
Um, I thought you were gonna say it sounds like we need like group therapy. I was also gonna agree with that. But 2
That
WhatsApp
too.
groups is also probably a
One,
solution.
faux mandatory.
One for business and one for pleasure.
The mullet, the WhatsApp mullet.
The WhatsApp mullet. Let's get it
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. That's not, I guess that's not how mullet
It's not really.
works. It's party in the back.
Yeah, yeah, it's
It's
business in
not
the front, pleasure
pleasure
in the
in the
back.
back. I do want to talk a little bit about being old and playing around, getting back to those kiddos.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe I did tell this story. I think it was last year, the annual family get together, which is next month this year. And I was playing with my nephew, and he did a somersault. Did I talk about doing a somersault?
I don't think so.
So the kid does a somersault, and I'm just like, I don't even think he was going like, do a somersault. I was just like, I could do a somersault. I used to somersault all the time. And now that I'm saying that, I'm having flashbacks of when in my teen years, when I was a skateboarder, and my dad and I built a ramp together. And my dad didn't skateboard, but he was like, I can go down the ramp on a skateboard. And he slipped and fell on his back, and it looked very painful. And so I was just like, I'm just doing a somersault. What does that matter? I'm just in my mid-30s. It's fine. And I get down and I start laughing because I immediately. When is the last time you tried to do a somersault?
It's been a long time.
Terrifying. I was
Yeah.
shocked to find getting down, like crouching down, putting my hands in front of me on the ground, and getting ready to roll. Like everything in me was saying, don't. This is bad. This is scary. This is a scary thing. We're in danger. And so I'm almost nervous laughing. I can't stop laughing because I'm like, I'm doing a somersault. This has never provoked fear once in my life. And I just did it, landed straight on my neck.
Ooh.
Immediate like crunch, and then rolled out. Called it a success, but like my neck was fucked for maybe a month. I'm like, man, yeah, physical play is out the
Yeah.
door. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. If I tried to do a cartwheel, I think my wrist would be sprained. Like, I don't know. We're just not built for it. I'm heavier than I used to be, and I'm more brittle,
Mm-hmm.
but just as dumb as ever.
Hell yeah. Some things never change. How about playing with animals? You've got a
Oh, yeah.
dog. Does your dog like to play?
On her terms, she gets in the mood.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
never it is so weird. Maybe it's a small dog to big dog thing because like we had big dog growing up.
We had big dog.
Kind of golden retriever mix. My grandparents had a big dog, and both of those dogs, you just throw a ball for them all day. They go get the ball, they bring the ball back, and you just do it over and over and over and over and over again to the point where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, dog. This
Yeah, it's why
is
they invented those like automatic things that just fire it and the dog brings it back and puts it in.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've never had a dog that plays like that because I've always had small dogs. I'm just assuming maybe that's a difference. But she's like, she won't play for a full week, and then just like one day we'll just start going like, ha, oh, ha, just like jumping around and just like staring at me, wagging her tail, like, let's go, come on, time to play. I'll grab one of her toys and throw it over her, and she'll just fuck around like that for a while. But then she gets tired of it and she stops.
Yeah.
She's just a very particular little lady. But there is an element of like, I guess, similar. You know, you hate comparing your dogs to other people's kids. They don't like that. But let's be
Right.
honest, it's a fair comparison. At least to a certain age. Where, you know, you got a baby, you baby talk to the baby. I baby talk to my dogs all the time. I talk like an idiot to my dog. Uh, and you do it in public, and that feels weird. And I don't like doing it. But you'll get caught sometimes going out, and I'm just walking, and you know, she did a number 2, but she didn't pee this morning. I'm like, you gotta pee. I don't want you peeing on the carpet, but I don't say it like that. You know, so like, you want to keep going? You want to keep going? Come on, let's go. One more time. Let's go. And it's just like, I got neighbors. You know, it's not like I'm being
Yeah.
quiet to her. It's, I don't know. It's embarrassing. But at a certain
Yeah.
point, I guess you do just get used to it. Maybe that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of baby talks to their pet, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have a strictly indoor animal either, you
Yeah.
know. It would be weird if like you had like fish, right? And it wouldn't be weird that you like baby talked to the fish.
Yeah. Because I would.
But it would be weird to be your neighbor and be like, I've only ever seen his podcast co-host and his girlfriend go into that
Yeah.
apartment. So is that who he's talking to?
I've never thought about that. That you just would never know they had fish.
Yeah.
I do think about that sometimes, though, because like I've said, I mean, yeah, you've been here. You can hear pretty well through the walls here. I'm like, yeah, my neighbor's probably here. I have full on stupid conversations with my dog, and I sound crazy, and that's fine. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
She's good company. I just had a thought because I was looking at my notes, and it ended up getting kind of plagued with what I would call
Play.
the plague. I would call them bad memories. I'm
Okay.
wondering to what degree this is, because we try to be relatable on this podcast, you know, at least to a certain type of person. Is this common, or is this just a me thing where I can clearly mark several moments in my youth that I kind of relate to me, kind of like we're talking about with improv, learning that I can't have as much fun as I would like to. Where I don't know, just a comment, and I take everything personally. So like everyone's innocent, and I'm probably not going to tell a bunch of stories either because you know, we only have so much time. But I just have so many little moments of like being a kid and like fucking around, having fun, and then an older kid being like, "That's not funny," or you like, you know, the improv thing, you're not playing right, or whatever.
Yeah.
And these things, like, I don't know, they planted little seeds in my head to where I grew up and was like, I shan't ever have fun. Fun is a thing I do in private, in public.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun. And I have a lot of fun in private. hey, oof, reminiscing about all the fun I've had in private in my life.
Now it's getting uncomfortable.
Hey, we're not having fun anymore. I can't have fun. No, I don't know. Is that a thing, or do other people just they have fun? No one ever told them that's bad, and they just continue playing and having fun their whole lives.
Well, I don't know that it's nobody ever told them. I think it's that they have the 80% confidence
Yeah,
or
to
whatever
not care.
to not care, because I think it's pretty common that throughout your life things that you enjoy people tell you to stop enjoying them,
Yeah.
and then things you don't like people are like, well, you got to deal with it. So I think that that is pretty common, and I think it's pretty common to get affected by, especially at like younger impressionable ages, to feel like, oh well, somebody older than me, somebody at some point of authority, whether it's another kid but who's older, or a teacher or a parent,
Yeah,
or whatever, told me not to do that, and they must, because they're older, they must know better than I
that's a
do,
rule.
to stop enjoying and having fun in life.
Yeah,
Gotta stop doing it.
never have fun. Here's a specific question. Do you
Okay.
remember? Because I'll tell it quick. We're running out of time. Do you remember the last time? Because like you said, we were fun loving kids. We
Yeah.
play with friends, imagination. Do you remember there being a time where like you'd grown out of some of that, but like a friend wanted to play? I'll tell my story and see if that rings a bell
Okay.
for you. It was a good friend of mine. We grew apart, unfortunately, but he and I were besties for a long time in my young years. So we played all the time. Little kid playing, and there was just one point that must have been like 1 year too late. I think. I mean, I was you're going on being like a preteen. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be an adult here, because I was boring. I was trying to be an adult, probably too early. But I go over to this friend's house, and he's like, "Oh, I got these cool like plastic fake guns. Let's play with them out back." And I'm like, okay. He's like, whoa, whoa, bang, bang, like making gun noises with his mouth. And I'm just like, it was the weirdest thing, because it felt like it was like within like less than a year ago that might have been fine, but all of a sudden I was like, I can't do this. I
Yeah.
cannot run around and go bang bang. I don't have it in me. I can't have fun with this. It's not fun to me. I feel like a fucking idiot. I don't know if that was just like all the self consciousness just came out in that year, but it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I think more often I was maybe in the position of your friend than of
See,
you.
that's better. I mean, probably not for you, but
Not really.
grass,
I think
grass is
it's,
greener on the other side.
yeah, I think I mean it's just is also like the um like growing out of the friendship.
Yeah.
Cuz like I had a friend, and we would like play with, Beanie Babies were all the rage.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we all
certainly.
had our Beanie Babies. We're playing with Beanie
The
Babies.
movie's coming out soon.
It sure
Zachy
is.
G. Oh,
Tomorrow, going
damn.
up against Barbenheimer.
Ah!
It's wild to me how few people seem to think Barbenheimer is like not hilarious. You know
it's
it's
odd.
like you, me, and I saw like one other person
It's
had retweeted something. It was like somebody had photoshopped the La La Land poster
yeah,
with Barbie and with Oppenheimer doing the little like dance on the Hollywood Hills.
great.
Um And they had posted like, OMG, who did this? As if they didn't like find who did it, clicked download, and then
Yeah.
uploaded it to their own tweet.
If I had to guess, the other person that doesn't think it's funny is probably Christopher Nolan. It's you, me, and Christopher Nolan skulking in the corner. This sucks.
But then somebody had like then retweeted that
Yeah.
with the quote tweeted it and was like, have two movies never come out at the same time before or something? And I was like, oh, thank God.
And it
Somebody
is
else.
funny because now they're both out, and it's like they both came out to rave reviews. Everything's great. Like,
Yeah.
Who cares? Fuck off.
Who cares?
Go see them. Go see them
Yeah.
both. I don't know. Make it a thing. I don't fucking care. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we were playing with Beanie Babies, and then you could just tell that he was over it.
Yeah.
And then, hey, shortly after that, the friendship was over.
Then that was kind of it for me too. I don't know. Maybe that is the common thread. That is friendship breaking when one person outgrows the other, because it doesn't feel good.
No,
it doesn't feel like if in your position, I feel like it would feel hard to be like, all right, now I'm older. Now let me get on in there. Because it's weird how easy it is to get along when you're kids. It doesn't matter who the kid is, unless it's that one kid that's just a shithead bully and wants to. Right. It's fun to punch people in the face. Like, no, it's not. But like, as soon as people get older and start like finding their interests, it's wild the interests of the people that I was friends with when I was a kid. I'm like, I would not at all get along with any of these. And I'm sure if I got together with all my like childhood friends, I'm sure we'd have at least that to cling on to and be like, yeah, we could all grab a drink or something. But like, interest wise, it's like one of them's majorly into like all they do is hunting. One of them's a full on car guy, which is just not my thing. I'm like, I felt like we all influenced each other, and yet we all became such wildly different people. It's interesting.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of where it was close to the opposite, it wasn't even so much like, it wasn't like, oh, I was done playing or whatever, but it was, I knew the truth about Santa Claus before another friend. And didn't want to, like, there are plenty of kids who want to go be little shits and tell every other child they meet, like, but I didn't want to do that. But there was a time with my friend and I, we were our houses were kind of near like a mountain like trail range. Nice. And so sometimes we'd go up there, we'd have little like forts like that were like kind of naturally formed from the rocks. Awesome.
I want to do that.
So we would go over there, and then sometimes other people in the houses were like, you can't be over there, you gotta stay on the trail. Like miserable little adults telling kids not to have fun. But there were like older kids that also kind of did that, and they like stored food up there and all sorts of stuff. And so there was a confrontation between us and then two of the like older kids, and I don't remember about what, but I remember that they were kind of being dicks as teenagers can be. And my friend was like, you better not do that because Santa Claus is watching. And then those kids had a good laughing fit of like, oh my God, are you serious? And then I just kind of I was just kind of there awkwardly, like, no, older kids, like, I'm with you, but also like, let's protect the innocent.
Yeah. We didn't know that it was I want to believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah. I do have a quiz for us, Evan.
There was like a point I was going to make along with that, but who gives a shit? I just want to believe in Santa Claus. What's the quiz?
This quiz doesn't really necessarily have to do with playing, but perhaps it will based on the answers we get.
Great.
This is unfortunately again another BuzzFeed quiz. But this is 10 questions,
Great.
and we will be finding out our quote unquote masculine archetype.
Oh.
Now, I don't fully know what this is going to mean, but we'll just kind of get an idea maybe of
We can't all be the
of
king.
the type of men that we are, perhaps.
All right, I like it. Ooh, damn.
So,
Starting
here's
hard.
the thing. Yeah. Select one of the 4 tarot suits:
Yeah.
pentacles / coins, wands, swords, or cups.
Yeah.
Now, I know nothing about tarot cards,
Yeah.
so I don't really know how to answer this. Do you know anything about
I've had
tarot
one
cards?
tarot reading before. I recognize these symbols. I don't remember what any of them mean. I'm going to, for both of us, just interpret this as like, which picture do you like?
Sure.
What do you like better? Swords or wands? You know what? I was leaning swords, but as soon as I said it, I just love wizards. Remember when I was a wizard?
You do love
I was
wizardry,
a big slow wizard.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I pick a wand. I love a wand.
I'm gonna go cups.
The cup picture is pretty cool. I wish I had that cup.
It's like a goblet.
Yeah. All right. Choose your biggest fear. Uh-oh. We're getting down to it. Failure, love, being alone, or inferiority. Oof.
I'm gonna go failure on this one, because failure, I think, covers a lot of categories.
It does, and I was immediately thinking failure, but inferiority might be it. That might be the majorly specific version of failure, because that's the side of it that I hate, is feeling inferior to everyone.
Yeah, I do apologize for anybody watching the video version of this, because these Cedar Sinai ads really keep popping up over all of the content here.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense.
Pick a Greek god: Zeus, Poseidon, Ares, or Apollo.
Kind of want to go Poseidon.
I'm going Poseidon, yeah.
That's a cool one. How do you usually prefer to solve an argument? I physically fight to show dominance. That's us. We don't need to hear the rest.
Yeah, yep, number 1 of the bullet.
I convince the other person that they're wrong. This is all very toxic. I storm out of the room, or I come up with a fair compromise. Wow.
Man, that's tough.
Prefer to
I'm somewhere between storming out of the room and coming up with a fair compromise.
Same. If given like time, it's I come up with a fair compromise. If you're just being like, because that's solving the argument,
right?
Not reacting. My immediate reaction might be storming out of the room, not storming, but just leaving.
Skulking.
Yeah, exactly. Leaving.
Pouting.
Yes, I am also saying come up with a fair compromise.
Select a popular city: London, New York City, Paris, or Beijing. London. I've been to 3 of these cities.
I've only been to 1. And that's Beijing.
I've not been to Beijing. No. I don't think I want to. I guess we're just picking it. It's not even necessarily where would you want to live. It could just be where do you want to go. I'm between Paris and London, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want it to just be like, I'm just picking the one I've been to. Of all of the, you know what? I have always kind of. I don't know. Paris is romantic, not in a like I want to go and have sex. Just like I was Robbie and I, my best friend, we were gonna move to Paris out of high school because we were idiots. Let's just get out of this whole thing, and we started learning French. So I'll choose Paris. That's always been.
I'm gonna choose
I'd love
Paris
to go.
too. I like London a lot, but I think um the food in Paris is just so much better than in London. So I'm gonna pick Paris.
French food rules. That's good shit. When is it okay to lie?
All the time.
To get what I want, to protect someone, to avoid hurting someone's feelings, or it is never okay to lie.
All right, you and I have talked about how much we love to lie.
We're little liars.
And truthfully, I think that 3 of these answers are all acceptable.
Yeah, that's it's kind of hard to get to the bottom of the one I most feel. I wanted to say to hurt someone's feelings. Lie to hurt their feelings.
It's okay to lie in order to intentionally hurt someone.
No, I'd say for me, it's either to avoid hurting someone's feelings or to protect someone. But to protect someone almost made more sense, even though initially I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But that feels like more often what I would be like. I have to protect a lot of people. I don't know. Most of my lies, I don't feel like I do lie a lot to avoid hurting people's feelings because I don't feel like I hurt people's feelings that often.
Yeah.
But there are more cases of, even if it's just like, oh, don't tell this person I'm going to be in their city. I don't want to see them. I'll lie about that. I don't lie very often. Look at me. What a good guy. That's my archetype.
I'm going to say to get what I want because
that's nice.
What I may want is to avoid hurting someone's feelings.
True.
What I may want is to protect someone. So I'm going to say to get what I want. That's when it's okay to lie. Choose a musical instrument.
Yeah, baby.
Trumpet, flute, guitar, or drums.
Why do I feel like this is the only question that's going to affect our archetype? I play 3 of these instruments. And by play, I mean I haven't touched a trumpet in 20 years. That was my first. I played the trumpet. So holds a spot in my heart. And guitar is my main squeeze, but man, drums are more fun than anything in the world. I love playing drums. I'm gonna pick drums. They're cool. They're loud.
I guess I'll pick guitar, but I have like no musical talent, so it's just kind of a shot in the dark.
Pick a male literary protagonist.
Uh-oh, I hope I've read these books.
I mean, they're not too highbrow. It's Harry Potter, Sherlock Holmes, someone named Ponyboy Curtis, or
That's
Percy
from
Jackson.
The Outsiders, I think.
Outsiders, the Rob
where they
Lowe,
say,
Tom Cruise movie.
They say, "Stay golden, Ponyboy." That's what that is. I think.
Ponyboy Curtis. It is The Outsiders. How'd you know that?
I don't know.
I've never seen that.
We
movie.
never read it.
I never read that.
It was one of those. There are a lot of like famous books that I've never read, but have like a like barely cultural awareness of. Anyway, you and I have talked about how much I want to be a detective. I'm going to pick Sherlock Holmes.
I also talked about how much I want to be a wizard. If I could pick this is what I hate about BuzzFeed quizzes. The pick one. It's like, well, that's not going to tell you shit. Like, tell me why I'm picking it.
Sure, yeah.
Which literary protagonist would you rather be? That's how you word a question, fuck. Fuck feed. Oh, am I not? Are we not having
fucking Cedar Sinai ads that keep covering up all of the quiz?
We're not having fun anymore. I'm being a bully to BuzzFeed. I'm Sherlock Holmes, even though I picked a wand.
Select an animal that is known as a predator. Harvey Weinstein, shark, lion, bald eagle, or bear?
Again, does depend on what you mean by select one, but if we're just picking one, I'm going with a shark because I like water. I don't want to be in water with a
Mhm.
shark.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
sharks are
I like
cool.
water as well. I like a lion because the lion just kind of lounges most of the
That's
day and then
true.
has women do all of the work for him, and I love that.
That's a
Um,
vibe.
that's that's a vibe.
Lions are a vibe.
I like a bear too, because uh they get land and they get a little bit of the splish splash in the
That's
water.
true. Bears are great.
Those killing machines are great. Um, they get to eat a bunch and then take a nap for 6 months of the year or whatever.
Shit, yeah.
Also, a straight up vibe. I'm gonna stick with lion though.
Did we both just lose all respect for the bald eagle when we heard what it sounds like the other quiz?
I don't know if it's that or if you and I, being follically challenged, just don't want to pick. Like if it just said eagle, I wonder
Yeah.
if you and I'd be
Oh,
like, maybe I'll consider that one.
Finally, choose one of these TV shows: Survivor, The Crown, Suits, or The Bachelor.
Look, obviously, I'm gonna pick
I
The
mean, I
Bachelor. I've
know.
talked about it so many times. You know,
It's
we're halfway
true.
through charity season of The Bachelorette right now.
Oh boy. I haven't watched it since like the second season, but I'm picking Survivor. And I'm baffled to find that like people still currently watch Survivor in a major way.
Yeah,
When did it get so popular again? Did it never
I don't
stop?
know. I don't think it ever stopped.
That's
I
so
think
fucking
other
weird.
things just like kind of took over the zeitgeist.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I need to watch Survivor again. I loved that show when it first came out. It was awesome.
We'll see what our if we got different masculine archetypes here, Evan.
Yeah.
I received the lover. You feel
Oh.
you feel everything deeply, are very empathetic, and enjoy all of life's pleasures. You have the ability to read both people and situations, which comes in handy quite often.
I don't know how we ended up so far apart. I am the warrior.
Yeah.
You are energetic and passionate, and you put 110% effort into everything you do. You firmly believe that when there's a will, there's a way. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of ours are like half truth.
Do you think we're lovers and warriors? Is that the new name of the podcast? The Lover and the
Yeah,
Warrior.
the lover and the warrior.
That feels like a toxic place.
Sure does.
If you do think we're a lover and a warrior, and that's what you love and war about us, listen to more of this shit. I hope you've had a good time. We never say that. We
Yeah.
hope you've had fun listening to us. And if you did, tell a friend about us. We're pretty fun. We're playful. We're playful here. This is like my area of play.
It
Is doing
truly,
this
yeah.
fucking podcast. And if you want to listen to more of that, you can find it fucking anywhere. Find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, any place you want. Any of those places you can leave us ratings, you can leave us reviews, say nice things about us. It helps us in the long run. We want more listeners. We want more little eavesdroppers, babies. And if you want to talk to us, tell us what a lover and a warrior we are. You can do that on social media. We'd love that. We're on Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
We're on Facebook, also at HowDoWeHuman.
I don't think you're ready for that handle.
We're on YouTube at HowDoWeHuman.
Gotta get that handle.
And, you can leave us an email. You can just say stuff to us. Whatever you want. You can ask us questions. You could just, I don't know, chat. We're around. Send us an email at howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
Chris,
Yes.
what do you got going on?
It's pretty toasty outside
That's bad.
these days, and it's very uncomfortable. So I am starting up a service since so few uh, uh residences in the Southern California area. For some reason, in this very warm part of the country, people decided to build a bunch of places with no air conditioning.
Yeah,
And so I'm starting a service where I will send an employee to your home with a big palm frond, and
great.
they just fan you with it and help cool
Yeah.
you down in these toasty summer times. Because I mean, what's the alternative? Landlords putting AC in the units? I don't think
Not
so.
likely. Is my apartment the only one in the building without AC for some reason? Mm-hmm.
Is it really?
It really is. Have I complained about it? No, because I feel like they'll use it as an excuse to jack up my rent.
That's true.
It's all bad. That's a great idea. That's an underrated way to keep cool. And
Yeah,
the gig economy is strong.
it's true. Maybe we can bring you some grapes too for you to eat off the vine.
I like a grape.
Yeah. Evan,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you'd like to plug?
I had a brilliant spark of inspiration this morning. First thing, sometimes you wake up and just like first thing, an image pops in your head. The start of Mary Poppins. You got
Okay.
old Dick Van Dyke with a one-man band.
Yes.
He takes a step, and hits a bass drum. He's got a horn in his armpit. And that's a fun thing. It's a fun image. Some people do it. I've seen one in person before. But you know where I haven't seen one? It's on a baby. Now, babies can't walk yet. They could crawl
True.
around, and that's enough motion. And I think that'd be very satisfying for a baby. If you want to get your kid into music, every time they crawl, a cymbal goes off above their head. And that would be great. I did unfortunately find out that Baby's one-man band acronym is BOMB. So we're going to have to work away from that. I normally love to work in an acronym.
Yeah, you normally love to start there and then work backwards.
It feels like I'm going to be the responsible one and say, like, I don't think that meshes well together.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Still, don't call it BOMB, but Baby's one-man band. It's a pretty cute idea.
I love it.
Great. Well, I don't know.
In case you were curious, Evan, the other two male archetypes that we could have received were the
yes.
king or the magician, which
I
would have
could
been
have
pretty
been.
close
It was all
to
the
your
Harry
wizard.
Potter.
Yeah,
If I'd said Harry Potter, I could have been a wizard.
yeah.
Damn. Well,
Wingardium Levio. Okay, bye.
okay, bye.